Coming up on Just Us Gals, Instagram advice. Is it a gold mine or a guilt trip? Jess opens the vault. What's lurking in her saved parenting folder on Instagram? Listeners spill their best parenting tips that actually work, and the most unhinged parenting hacks that are just too brilliant not to try.
I'm Heather.
I'm Jess, and this is
Just Us Gals. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Just Us Gals with your two favorite gals, Heather and Jess. They're your two favorite mom friends.
Your mom friends you didn't know you needed.
Exactly. And we are growing a little bit of a community, which is very exciting.
Oh, Heather, it is so exciting. I'm just loving our engagement. We have, in a couple minutes, we'll share with you some exciting things we have on the horizon, as well as some exciting feedback that we're receiving. So, it's good.
And we love getting all the feedback. So keep it coming. And anyways, this episode, we kind of wanted to focus on parenting is tough enough as it is. And now, in this day and age, we are pretty much just being bombarded with advice, with the best hacks for this, how to do that. If your kids aren't doing this, then you must be doing something wrong, all from our favorite thing, social media. And so it is literally everywhere you look. And it's getting hard to weed through what is good advice, what is just completely bonkers, and how much of it is actually kind of damaging and making you feel like you're failing as a parent. But on top of that, Jess and I have tried out some of the many pieces of advice that we've saved on our Instagram, and some of it has worked, some of it has not, and thought it would be pretty helpful to share that with the listeners to maybe help you not waste your time on certain things.
Absolutely. And I actually have, I don't know if you do this, Heather, but on Instagram, I think I'm addicted to social media and I hate that. It's something I'm working on, but I have a folder called parenting and I will save posts to that parenting folder. Ask me how many times I have opened that folder.
Zero. Many, Jess?
The answer is zero. Yeah.
I know.
So I haven't looked at it since I became a mom almost 6 years ago. And so I'm going to feed through some of those posts today, and we'll see what young Jess needed to save to help her be a better parent.
to get through it. And I have done the dirty work for y'all, and I went through a TikTok of what are your most unhinged parenting hacks.
Yes.
And I have got a list of some of the ones that I thought were hilarious or ones that I might actually try. So,
oh my gosh,
because they're just that unhinged that they just might work. And sometimes you need an unhinged solution.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, it's the Wild West out here and we are just all surviving. So do what you need to do, unhinged or not. I'm
if
all
it
for
works.
It. Maybe I should put a little asterisk on that and say maybe don't beat your kids, but
yeah, I'd say
I think that goes without saying.
Use some common sense.
Yeah, use some common sense.
Don't be a bad person.
Don't be a mean parent. Don't be a bully. Yeah. So Heather, it was just Mother's Day. We actually had our moms on, and I think that they absolutely rocked it. They were hilarious. Actually, my parenting win for the week is that Emmy is being a nicer human being.
Oh, and yay. That was a thing you were worried about.
That was, so last episode, I actually asked the moms, I said, my 5-year-old, her attitude is unhinged. I cannot connect with her no matter how much I try. I'm putting in extra effort on top of extra effort to really connect with her. And we're really working on our communication and using our words to get things instead of our elbows and fists with her sister, or instead of her raising her voice. So, and I'm actually being more strict as well by saying, try that again in a nicer voice because I'm not responding to that, right? I'm really trying to encourage her to be a nicer person. And that comes with a lot of extra parenting.
Yes.
So maybe I was slipping a little bit. I don't know, but I will tell you, parenting is tough. My win is that she's becoming a nicer parent, a nicer 5-year-old. And the parents, when I asked if, maybe she's getting it out of her system early, they both burst into
Laughed in your
laughter
face.
and said, absolutely not. She will still
Yeah.
wreak havoc on you as a teenager. But at least this week, I am getting a little bit of a reprieve from her attitude. And it has
Good.
been so lovely. It's just really, really reinforcing the behaviors you want to see from her. Even if she covers her ears and doesn't want to hear it, I know she's still hearing it, so I'm still going to say it. Where before
Yeah.
maybe I would have stopped and walked away because I don't want to engage with that. So anyways, that's my win for the day, and I'm hoping it lasts.
Me too. You know what? I have to say, it is so hard to set those boundaries and stick with them when you're tired and you have this little kid who's fighting with you, and the easy solution is to just give in, but that's the
Or
wrong
ignore it.
solution too.
Or
Yes.
ignore it,
And
which is I think what I was doing.
correct, trying to setting the boundaries to correct the behaviors, knowing that you're gonna have to put up with a struggle for a while is daunting.
So that's where
But
I'm in right now. I am in the
it's good to
thick
hear that it pays
of
off.
holding the boundaries. Yeah. So yeah, it is. I'm seeing it pay off. So little tip for your parents: the lazy way doesn't always work.
But sometimes you just are too tired.
You just need to.
But eventually, when your kid becomes a monster, you got to do it. But actually, that kind of go with one of my wins/losses this week. But first, I have both because that's what I do. I have a super quick win, and one of my tough parts about starting my new job was in the mornings I didn't get to see my girls anymore, which made me really sad because I would have to leave to work super early. But now they call me on their way to day home, and I love it. I get my little good morning from the car, and it makes my morning. So that's a win, is finding that solution to not
That's
feeling
so
so
sweet.
guilty.
And I
It
feel
is.
like it helps them. It helps you. It just sets the tone of the day on the right foot.
Yes.
I love that. That's a great
I
win.
know. It's the best. But my loss, speaking of monsters, Chloe, my youngest, has become a dirty little liar.
Uh-oh.
So I didn't know 2-year-olds could lie like this, but
She's
it's,
advanced.
oh, she is so advanced for
You're
her
a 2-year-old
lying
so advanced,
skills.
Heather.
Oh my gosh.
Mine didn't start lying till 3.
Oh, well, look at Chloe. She's learned young. Lucky me. She, for instance, it's usually these circumstances. It's she hurts herself, or she's mad or frustrated with someone, so she'll lie. So she didn't want to go upstairs for a bath last night. So because Max told her to, my husband, and she's throwing a tantrum, crawling up the stairs angrily, and all of a sudden I hear, "Mommy, help me, Mommy, help me." And I go to help her, and she says, "Daddy pushed me down." And I was like, what? He was in the garage. So I was like, this is a lie. You cannot be telling people that, you're being pushed down by your father. Jeez. And then the other day she's in her crib and she pokes herself in the eye and is crying, and she says, "Dobby poked me in the eye." Who is our dog?
Oh my gosh.
So I just,
little
and now I feel
squeaker.
bad for I know, I feel bad because I'm like, how many times did I maybe get mad at Penny being like, "Chloe said you did it." And Penny being like, "I did not push her." And now I know.
That's also a hard part of parenting, is when one sibling says the other did this, but you didn't see it, not immediately taking the side, right? It's tough. Well, now, especially in your case, you really can't take Chloe's side.
Goodness.
Or Penny's
I guess
side.
she ran into my dad's knee on the weekend and she just screamed at him for being in the way.
No.
So even though she's the one who ran into his knee, so she's got maybe a little bit of anger issues. But
You know what? I can relate to all of that with my kids. Actually, Parker is, well, she's 15 months older than Chloe, and she's doing the exact same things. And she's saying some things are happening at daycare too. But Emmy sometimes goes there on PD days and stuff, and Emmy's like, "That never happened." So, and that kind of gets a little serious too, because you're like, and it's nothing crazy, but it's like, whoa, did that actually happen? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But thank God Emmy is there sometimes to, you know, set her
Yeah.
straight,
Be like,
to
no, no,
really
no.
give me the facts. Like,
Yeah.
no, that doesn't happen. Like, he didn't, like, one of the teachers, he didn't scratch you.
No.
Yeah, I know. Just like, he didn't hit you on the head. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. It's
God,
what
where
it
do they
actually
get
was
this?
she told me that one of the teachers hit her on the head, and what it is he walks around and he just like touches the kids on the heads when he walks by, or like I guess he'll just like tingle like the backs of their necks or something like that. But that's scratching and that's hitting.
Oh
So
boy.
it's like in your case, yes, Chloe is making stuff up. In Parker's case, she is really
Exaggerating.
embellishing things.
Embellishing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if she just really doesn't like it. Maybe she just like
She might
doesn't want
not.
him
And
to
then
do
that's
it.
where I'm telling her, okay, use your strong voice and you really need to stand up for yourself. If you don't
Okay.
like something, you have to tell them. Right? I'm so bad. I don't like confrontation. So I am so bad at, if it causes me more discomfort than the other person,
Oh,
then I'll
I
take it. And
know.
that's the people pleaser side
We've
of me.
talked about this. We're
We have,
both
and
that.
I need my girls not to be like that. So I'm
I
really
know.
trying to encourage them to stand up for themselves, even at
It's
3 and 5.
hard.
I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know if this is the way, but it can't hurt.
No, it's better than not. Like, teach
I
them
know.
young to use their voice, I
So
guess.
what do you do when Chloe says, Max pushed me down the stairs and he's nowhere to be found?
I looked at her. Well, originally I went, what? And I like kind of laughed. And then I was like, Chloe, don't lie.
Yeah.
And Penny pops up and she goes, don't be the boy who cried wolf. And I'm like, yes, Penny, that is exactly the story. But Chloe doesn't know the story, and I don't know if it would register. Maybe it would. She's smarter than I think she is sometimes.
Yes, she's advanced, remember?
She is advanced. Look at her. She's an advanced liar. So I basically have just told her, I was like, that is lying, and you have to stop lying because I won't know if someone actually does this to you or not. But don't know if it's registering. It's usually when she's in the middle of having a tantrum. And then I will try and talk to her about it afterwards, and she'll just go, okay, okay. And I'm like, is this just in one ear and out the other? Like, I think you're just agreeing with me, so I'll stop talking. Which Penny used to do too.
Oh, that's so frustrating. So this kind of bleeds well into our subject matter of the day, Instagram parenting, because I've recently seen a post about lying, and it's a
Okay.
lot of posts you see are, you're not supposed to, don't say it's lying, crouch down, get to their level and say, oh, I find that interesting. Did that happen? Can you tell me where daddy, like, you know what I mean? Which,
Okay, yeah.
but at what point do you just got to call a spade and say, girl, you're lying here. We got to quit that. That's a bad habit to be in. Right? Like,
Yeah. I think maybe it could be circumstantial. Like with Chloe, the lying usually happens in the middle of a fit and a tantrum. And I feel like getting down into her level and trying to talk to her when she's in that state wouldn't work.
yeah.
But I can see where that might work with Penny, for instance, where
Right.
she's told me a story at school that seems a little like crazy. And I think if I did say to her, like, that's a lie, that might be a little harsh. And
Fair.
maybe speaking to her on that
Yeah.
level of being like, tell me more, like, explain this
Yes.
further, and maybe getting to an understanding of, like, oh, I see what you were actually trying to say, or
Yeah.
no, girl, you're just straight up lying. Why are you
So
doing that?
Emmy came home from kindergarten the other day and she said, oh, I told my teacher that I have a doctor's appointment today. And I said, but you don't have a doctor's appointment. She goes, no, I tricked her. And I was like, well, did you
the
tell her that
tricking.
you tricked her? And she said, no. I said, well, that's not a trick. That's just a lie. Right? So, like, there is a difference between a trick and a lie. So now she
Yes.
just thinks that you're maybe leaving school early for, I don't know what she was trying to achieve by tricking her. But I had to call her out and say, that's not a trick. That is a lie, girlfriend.
There's been a few instances where Penny has lied to me, and I'll kind of give her the look of like, what? Like, that doesn't seem right. And then she'll say, I tricked you, ha 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 ha. But it's usually a lie like, like, Penny, did you clean your room? And she'll be like, yes, it's perfectly clean. I'll be like, okay, well, I'm going to go see. And she'll be like, oh, I tricked you.
Yes.
So
yes,
I'm like, you're really
here.
using that word loosely. Tricked.
Same. I think it might
Yeah.
be an age thing because Emmy,
Yeah.
our kids are 6 weeks apart. She does the exact same thing. It's a lot of tricking happening around here. Ha 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 ha! You're so funny.
Yeah, like, a nice try. Go clean your room. God.
Yeah, right? Yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go over some of my parenting hacks.
Okay, let's hear it.
I got some of these from Instagram, and some of them I came up with them all on my own.
Oh,
Okay,
look at you.
so if the girls aren't playing well, I will tell them that, okay, girls, you only have 15 minutes left to play, and then that magically starts them playing nice with each other. It's if they're under a time crunch, then boom, they're playing well together because they only have 15 minutes. So I say, girls, you only have 15 minutes left to play. Maybe play baby one more time, or oh, okay, let's go, Parker. And honest to God, it works beautifully. But
I love that.
you also have to follow through on your time, right?
Okay.
So sometimes 15 minutes is 25 minutes, and I think I can get away with that at this point. But when they start to become a bit more savvy with time, I can't. I'm still in the zone where I can. So if you have young kids, that one.
Okay, I like that one.
Okay, this is a travel hack. If you're on an airplane or if you're going on vacation, I actually have those like cloth zip up, like Ziploc bags. They're like, I don't know, not like the big freezer bags, but like a sandwich bag, but the cloth ones. Bring those because they're good for airplane snacks, they're good for car snacks, they're good for hiking snacks. You just refill them and they'll always have snacks on the go. That
cute.
when I was in Hawaii the last 2 times, oh my God, I swore by that hack.
Love it.
Okay, bedtime. I know you don't have to lay with your kids, but for those listeners who have to lay with their kids, and this is just, it's a brain dump at bedtime, right? It's just, they want to talk about everything that happened in their day, but of course they get home and nothing happened. You tell them, I'm going downstairs to clean up the kitchen in 10 minutes. And then you say in 7 minutes, in 4 minutes. And honest to God, that sets them straight. And it's like, oh, okay. And then it's usually more when I get down to 2 minutes, then they rest their head. And Emmy's actually getting pretty good at telling the time because I just have a digital clock next to my bed because one of my parenting wins is, and to avoid social media before bedtime is I put my phone away from me, also for like the brain waves I don't want the radiation in my head. So I put the phone away from me so I don't have to go on social media before bed. Now we just look at the clock, and that's actually teaching Emmy a lot about time. But back to my first hack, maybe I don't want her to know about time, but yeah, or give her a time. So if the kids know how to tell, so at 8:35, I'm going downstairs to clean the kitchen, and I tell you, that works most of the time. Okay, this is an Instagram piece of advice that I received on saying yes more. So, and saying no less. Yeah. So, Mom, can we go to the park? Yes, we can go to the park after school tomorrow. Or, Mom, can we play outside? Yes, we can play outside after dinner. Right? You're not saying no, but you're telling them when it can happen. And for the most part, it's working. So that was one piece of advice
I've done
that
I use that one.
Instagram. Yeah.
I like that one. And I've caught myself a few times where my initial reaction is like, no, not right now. No, not right now. And then I immediately stop and I'm like, wait. And I'll quickly change it and I'll be like, yes, let me finish preparing dinner and then I can come see this or something, And then it's usually like, okay, instead of being like, no, I want you to right now. Or, them getting upset because they're just hearing no, no, no.
Yeah.
You're getting a yes, which is a positive.
Exactly.
But followed by.
And then they have to work on their patience at the same time.
Yes, which is a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing. Okay. So if I need them to do anything, and they're not listening because kids don't know how to listen, apparently, I'll say, who's being a big listener? And then they want to be a big listener, right? I am. Yeah. And then they'll run upstairs and get their jammies on or jump off the trampoline or whatnot. So who's being a big listener? And then if I need them to get out of the bath without 5 more minutes, I actually bought a little timer on Amazon. Once that timer goes off, boom, we're done. And it has like a little rainbow. So like once the rainbow gets smaller and smaller, they know their time is limited. So a timer.
There's a visual cue.
There's a visual cue, yeah. And we also opened this conversation up to some of our followers. So let me just get some of their responses here. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, we got a lot, Heather. Okay.
Look at us.
Like I said, I love the engagement. And we didn't mention this yet. We got an email that from a website that actually tracks stats of podcasts. And we are in the top 40 of parenting podcasts in Canada. So I think we're only 6 episodes in. And so I don't know, I feel like we need to give ourselves a little pat on the back because I feel pretty proud of that.
Me too.
So thank you to our listeners for getting us there.
Yes.
Okay, so this is one, kind of goes with mine, but slightly different. Timing them to get things done, like cleaning or getting ready for bed. And then she elaborated in the comments where she said, make everything it makes everything a game. A variation is, how much can you clean before this song ends? Or I bet you can get dressed faster. Or I bet I can get dressed faster than you. And that's also another Instagram thing I learned. Make them a team against you.
Can I speak to that?
Yeah.
So that worked for us for a little bit for Penny.
Okay.
We did in the mornings for getting ready to go to work. It was who can get ready first. And Penny would go to her room and she would brush her teeth, brush her hair, put on her clothes, and then come back in and she'd be like, I beat you, Daddy, and blah, blah, blah. But there were a few times where Daddy beat her. And game over, meltdown. Penny is
and now you're dealing with that.
Now we're dealing with that. And so my solution was to just never win. Because it's the morning and I don't want it. See, this is what I mean about picking my battles, boundaries.
Yes,
should I fix this? I don't know. But getting ready in the morning, and losing to my kid for not getting dressed first, sure, I'm going to do that just so she doesn't freak out. But Max, and he's way better at holding boundaries than I am, so it's a good thing he's around for this stuff, is he'll be like, no, she has to learn how to lose. So he'll be like, I won, and then she'll absolutely lose it.
There's a time and a place.
I know. And so
not at 8 a.m.
No, exactly. And eventually it would be little things like, yeah, well, you haven't made me breakfast yet, so you actually haven't won. And I was just like, you're right, Daddy's a loser. So
all right, let's go. We're all dressed.
Anything to keep the peace. So it does work, but if you have a child who is a sore loser, you can't ever beat them.
Are they all sore losers?
I don't know. So far, Penny has been, my parents told me I was a very sore loser when I was a kid.
Which is why you don't play team sports.
No, exactly. I don't like to play on...
Never quite grew out of that one.
No. I don't play competitively in anything because I hate losing.
Which I actually just saw on Facebook. My mom sent me this. You are doing a disservice to your child if you don't have them in team sports before the age of 10. So tell me how's this affecting you, Heather?
Well, I was never put in team sports for the age of 10. And then I briefly joined it in junior high, and I played basketball, and I broke my thumb and took it as a sign I shouldn't play it, and I backed out. Yeah, I'm like, this is not for me. It's a sign.
It's a sign.
So, but if that's why I don't like team sports, I mean, it could contribute to it, but I have never enjoyed playing on a team. And I've always said that I'm certain it's because I hate losing and I hate being the reason why a team could lose. So putting myself in that position where I could be the one who fucks it up.
That's fair.
Was too much pressure for me. So I just didn't to not do it.
Okay, another one we got was her daughter's name is Salem. When Salem is hitting me, I get on her level and ask if she wants a hug instead. And 90% of the time, she gives me a hug. I can attest to this one. It works as well. We have daughters the same age. And anytime Parker's having a behavior, I ask, do you need a huggy? She gives me a huge hug. And you know what? I've been giving Emmy more hugs too. She's less affectionate than Parker, but to, what I'm working on with her is I'm giving her more hugs. And I don't know, a hug fixes everything. I swear to God.
Yeah, I do the same thing. It doesn't work quite yet with Chloe, but I did that with Penny, and it seems to work the whole, like when they're having a tantrum or a meltdown, I'll just kind of sit there and wait for them to calm down. I don't leave. I don't get mad. I'm just like, okay, well, and I'll usually, although Chloe's was next level this weekend, I eventually had to leave because I was running out of time to do things I needed to do. But I just tell them, I'm like, I'm just right here. Whenever you're ready, and if you want a hug, I've got a big hug for you. But have your, as Miss Rachel calls them, your big feelings. Let it fly. And I find that kind of wraps the tantrum up quicker than if you were to just be like, and, you know, sometimes I have been frustrated. I just leave. I'm like, this is like, no, I can't. And I leave, and then they get louder because they want you to hear them, or this and that. Whereas if you just kind of stay there unbothered and you're just like, it's okay, do it, let it out, I find it speeds it up. And then the hug at the end.
There's two things I learned on Instagram from that, or that can be applied to that story. One is you don't have to physically be touching them, but they just need to know that you're there for them, which I would agree with. And the second one is the louder they get, the quieter you get, right? It's like, don't match their tone, right?
That's
Stay
good.
calm. If they're up here, you be down here, because you need to model how you want them to solve this, right?
Yes.
So I feel like those are pretty good Instagram tips. Okay, another one. I don't have any, but desperately need some. Liz, this episode is for you.
Yeah, hopefully we're helping.
Okay, we have one from Alex. I think it's a long one because the other half is in the DMs. Okay. She has I think a 1.5-year-old boy. Okay, this is working wonders for any sort of transition with an 18-month-old right now. We say bye-bye to everything when transitioning from one activity to the other, and for some reason it breaks the spell of him melting down. Maybe because he feels a little bit more in control in that he is saying goodbye to the activity or toy or being outside. I don't know. Bye-bye toys, bye-bye outside, bye-bye filthy object that he found on the ground and will not part with. Relatable. Now that I've said it out loud, though, it's not going to work anymore. Isn't that
Oh
the
my gosh, I
thing?
know.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like as soon as you draw attention to it or give it light, it no longer works.
So we have a humidifier in my bedroom. I had it since the girls were congested one night, and I put like a little sage, like kids cold essential oils in it. Just like a little aromatherapy in the room. I don't move it because the second I move that back to the laundry room, they're going to need it again. So keeping it in there, not even using it, is keeping them healthy.
Yep, it is.
It's the curse of the parent.
It's magic.
Yeah. Or like the
It's just
second,
like-
when they were napping, the second you sit down for a nap is when they're going to wake up.
Oh, I know. Oh my God. That used to stress me out so bad. It happened this weekend. I was like, okay, Chloe's having a good nap. I'm going to go sit outside. I grabbed a book. I sat down. Immediately she woke up. I was like, oh, I should have known. I should have
Without
known.
fail.
Yeah. But the bye trick, I actually had written that one down. That's one I have used too, and it works like a charm. Like we'll be like,
Agreed.
okay, it's time to say goodbye to the playground, and we usually add "see you soon" or "see you later" to be like, we'll come back kind of thing. So it'll be like, okay, bye bye playground, see you next time, or bye bye Miss Rachel, we'll see you again soon.
So
Chloe's
actually,
a huge Miss Rachel fan.
I follow Miss Rachel. I mean, my girls loved Miss Rachel at one point too. They're done with it. The Emmy, she was a bit too old for it. Wouldn't you agree with Penny? Miss Rachel came out when she watched it a little bit because Parker did, but there was like reading episodes for preschoolers, and I really wanted her to watch that, but she had no interest. But I did see in one of her comments that one mom was like, "Can you do the goodbye song every single episode?"
Smart.
Right? And she goes, "Oh my God, what great feedback!" Because then that signals, okay, it's over. It's time to turn it off.
Turn it off.
Right?
Yeah.
If they don't hear the song, they think they can just keep watching. God, kids are
I have to
so
say,
crazy like that.
Miss Rachel is two notes on that. Miss Rachel is a hack, I would say, honestly,
100%.
because when my youngest was like, TV wouldn't have interested her at all, really, but there were like some times where I didn't know what to do because she was just so unhappy, didn't want to be fed, didn't want to sleep, didn't need a diaper change, and was just crying. I was like, I don't know what to do. And so one day I just put on Miss Rachel. And this, from the second she came on screen and being like, hi, hello, beaming, stopped crying, and I was like, what is this magic? And she would just every single time she saw Miss Rachel's face waving and saying hi, she would just be so happy. And I was like, I think you love her more than me. Like, this is so insane.
I think she does, and that's okay.
Yeah. I know, it's 100%. And then the other thing that I find worked to make her very happy was the Happy Song by Imogen Heap. I don't know if you ever used that with your kids. I didn't use it with Penny, but I found out about it with Chloe. And again, anytime she wasn't happy, I would just put it on. And it's just like, I don't know if there's actually any science or behind it, but kids love it. It's just a bunch of happy sounds, and it's a happy melody, and it's like ding ding on the bicycle, and it's just like that.
Like
and she loved it.
Heap?
Imogen Heap. They sang like what you say.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? So she did the happy song. I highly recommend it. It worked from a very young age with Chloe.
Okay, that makes me want to watch the OC now.
I know,
because that was on it? I think was it after
it was, and then SNL did that skit. Remember?
Yeah,
where they kept shooting.
Oh,
highly watch that skit if you are an OC fan. You have to watch the SNL skit where they redo that. It's got like Shia LaBeouf in it.
Oh,
hilarious!
I know what I'm doing after this podcast.
I know,
is done.
one of the best skits on there.
Oh my god!
I know, so good. Okay, do you got any more?
Okay, no more
before I jump into my unhinged
followers. But I do want to go over some of the ones that I saved over the years since becoming a parent.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
All right, let's see here.
Stuff you thought you would need.
Bedtime question. Oh, okay. Bedtime questions for children. Tell me one thing you needed today. Tell me one thing that you found hard today. Tell me something that made you feel proud today. Tell me one thing you really wanted me to know about today. Tell me one thing that was good about today. I like that because I feel like it opens up more conversation, whether you want them to continue chatting at bedtime.
I was going to say, but how long do you want bedtime to go on for?
So what I'm really trying right now is it's hard in these summer months because it's so light out and so nice out. But I really want to start bedtime even 15 minutes early because I do want to connect with Emmy before bed more.
That's great.
Because that's when we chat the most. So I'm going to keep this one saved. There is also a morning questions. Tell me how you're feeling today. Tell me one thing you're looking forward to today. What should I wear today? You always have such good ideas. What questions do you have about today? I'm so happy to see you. I miss you when we aren't together. I feel like less strong than the bedtime questions, but...
Yeah, I do know that for Mother's Day, Penny did tell me that her favorite thing is whenever I see her, how happy I get to see her. So I think telling your kids that, like, I miss you and I'm so happy to see you, it meant something to Penny. And I was like, oh, so sweet.
When I say after pick up from school or daycare, I am so happy to see you because apparently something else I learned on social media, you're not supposed to say, I missed you today because it can make them feel guilty. Jury's still out on that. That's a little
I'm
too
out
far.
on that one.
Yeah.
I did miss them.
Totally, right? But it apparently makes them feel guilty for not being with you. I don't know. Again, that one's a little iffy. But whenever I say, I'm so happy to see you today. Oh my gosh, they light up. It's so cute.
Aww.
Okay, so here's one. 3 habits to become your child's cheerleader in life.
Okay.
Make it a habit to always point out something you admire about them. I admire your perseverance. I know you had a hard time learning the new language, and I can hear how well you speak it now. I love how passionate you are about the things you care about. You're going to make the world a better place. Make it a habit to encourage them to try new things. Check out this new hairstyle I found on Pinterest. You should try it. I bet it would look good on you. Then number 3, make it a habit to allow them to follow their own interests. You don't have to have another activity after school if you don't enjoy them. It's okay to just chill at home. I have a problem with that one because when my kids are at home, they fight. And I feel keeping them busy keeps me sane. Fair. I don't know if you agree with that, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's hard right now just because Chloe's not quite old enough to put in anything.
Yes, and now Parker is at the age where she does the swimming and she does acro and she does dance. Same sometimes with Emmy or at the same time as Emmy. So I'm kind of that carpool mom now where I'm like a taxi driver. I just drive around to kids' activities. But honestly, I like it. I like getting out of the house. Oh, teach your kids to stop interrupting. If you have a child who keeps interrupting, you teach them to hold up their hand. They hold up their hand. So when you're having a discussion with your partner and your child keeps calling your name, don't ignore them, as this will only exacerbate the issue. Okay, instead, turn to them, get down on their eye level, and be clear and warm in your tone. Here's what you're supposed to say. I need you to hold your thought. My ears will be ready for you in 5 seconds. See, a lot of this, though, is like, I find with this social media parenting is you have to be on your game so much.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
It's you always have to, please wait your turn. I'll be with you in 5 minutes. I'm sorry, that's not realistic for me.
No, I know.
Just when Emmy's interrupting me, I just turn to her and I say, Mommy's having a conversation right now. You have to wait. And then she waits. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that too 90s parenting?
No, I'm the same with with Penny. I'll be like, it's not your turn. You are
I
next.
like that.
So wait your turn. And then sometimes in the middle she'll be like, is it my turn yet? Is it my turn yet? I'm like, no. It's not
I'll
your
let
turn.
you know. I'll let you know. Oh, Heather, here's one. We were talking about the kids being sore losers.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is, okay, so this is, their kid was having a hard time and they started throwing the game pieces. And instead, she redirected her energy to make it a game. Hey, can you try to get the game pieces in the box? And she held up the box.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So the old
I do that
redirect.
with cleanup sometimes.
Oh, you do that with cleanup.
Yeah,
Like-
I'll be like, I'll take out the box and be like, all right, let's try and shoot it in. And then they will put their toys away, like Legos, by just
smart.
trying to shoot hoops.
And then does
But
it make
yeah.
more of a mess though because they have no accuracy and neither do I?
That's true, but it's fun.
But it
for
gets
a little
them.
bit, at
It gets
least.
them in totally, and it gets them in
Yeah.
the routine of it. So this is a piece of advice that I actually often think of because I feel
Okay.
like Emmy is a kid who will need this one day. I feel like she's very quick to dwell on the negative, where Parker's very quick.
Okay.
Emmy's more of a glass half empty kind of gal, and Parker's more of a glass half full. So this is from Big Life Journal, who I love following.
Oh,
How
love
I
them.
helped my child to focus on the good. My son used to see only the negative in every situation, and it was very exhausting. So one day, as I was driving him to school, I asked him this: can you look around and start counting the white cars? When he got to 30, I asked, okay, and how many silver cars did you see? And of course, he couldn't answer because this was not what he was looking for. So then we talked about how the white cars were like good things in the world, and the silver cars were the not so good things. So while he was looking for the white cars, the silver cars didn't go away, but he wasn't focused on them. He was noticing what he was looking for. So then I told him, it's important what we pay attention to because you get more of what you choose to notice. It clicked, and he soon realized that it means to choose to look for the good. So I feel like that's something that I'm
that's
going to
cute.
have to use one day, right? And that's one thing, though I saved it and have never looked at it before, it's really just sunk into the back of my mind. You know what, Heather? I would say some of these things I saved are pretty good.
Nice.
So
Look at you.
instead of how was school today, this is what I do as well. Did anything make you laugh today? What was the best thing that happened today? Did you help anyone today? Did you ask anyone to play with you today? We actually have this book called Did You Fill Your Bucket? It's about learning how to fill people's buckets and dipping from people's buckets. It's actually a great book for kids to have. And one of the questions I asked is, did you fill your bucket today? Or did anybody dip from your bucket today? Okay, I don't know if this is true because I'm a big comments reader. How about you?
Oh, I love comments.
I love comments. So the comments are kind of mixed on this one. But if your kid has a fever, you put cold socks to draw blood to the feet, stimulating circulation, which stimulates the immune system, reduces fever naturally, helps clear congestion and inflammation, safe for most ages.
I've tried so many of those things and nothing ever works.
I've tried the
For
onions
colds.
in the socks and the
Yeah.
onions under the crib when Parker was little. It just stinks up the room so
Yeah.
bad.
That's one.
And I don't think
I've
it really
tried.
works.
No, me neither. And
Yeah.
I just a humidifier. That's the one thing I swear by.
Same, with my sage drops in it, the humidifier, and then I have like a sage roller that if they're stuffy, then they put on a mustache.
Cute,
And then I
yeah.
use Beauty from Bees. I love that brand. It's local to Alberta, and we have a chest rub. So
Oh,
those
nice.
are my stick hacks. The onions are out.
Just stake it out.
Heather, I think we are ready for your unhinged parenting,
Okay.
shall we?
Are we ready? These are the ones that I would try or I just thought were freaking hilarious. And some of them actually applied to stuff we were talking about earlier. So, okay. So this was give me your most unhinged mom hacks. And here you go. Okay, first we got I told my toddler his ears turn red when he lies. So when he's lying, he covers his ears. I'm like, okay.
Would
I
use
like
that.
one.
Yep.
This one I'm actually using with Penny and Chloe, and it's working. I told my first that he could have candy whenever the baby used the potty. He basically potty trained my second because every 5 to 10 minutes he'd ask her if she needed to go potty. So that's what we're doing with it. I was like, oh my God, that's what I'm doing. And like whenever Chloe pees or poops on the potty, she gets a squirt of whipped cream. And Penny gets one too. So Penny is taking Chloe to the washroom like 2 or 3 times this past week, just so she gets some whipped cream.
Brilliant.
I know, I love that one. I'm like,
Brilliant.
so good.
Do you think it's getting her closer to being potty trained?
Yeah, it's basically if she has no diaper on now, she'll go use the potty, which is great. But if the diaper's on, she'll just go in her diaper.
And how quick did that work?
We just kind of started out this week, but she wasn't really ready until this week, I'd say.
Perfect.
So
Love
yeah.
it. Yep.
Yeah, working so far. Having Penny trained Chloe.
And that is all we can ask for as parents. Just a little help
Exactly.
where we can get it.
Exactly. This one I thought was hilarious. Whenever it's bedtime and they are still stuck to Netflix or similar, I change the language to Greek or Polish and tell them they don't understand because they're too tired.
I've seen that one before. I've forgotten about it.
That
and
is
I will
so funny.
absolutely be using that one.
Oh, okay. Here's another good hack. I put myself in timeout. Sorry, mommy was not kind and got loud, so she needs a 5-minute timeout. Don't talk to me because I need to find my calm.
Yep. Last week, both girls, you can't win. The other week, I drove them right to activities and they were crabby and complaining. So I was like, I'm going to pick them up early, bring them home for a snack, and everything's going to be great. Woohoo! Nope, still not. Still crabbing and complaining. And this time, they took it up 5 notches and they were both like screaming at me, upset. It was just a hot mess. So I just left the room. I just went and sat outside in the sun. And so that was my timeout, but I might start using that verbiage.
Yeah, exactly. Even mommies have to have timeouts.
Exactly.
This is another lying hack if you want. This one might work for me with Chloe. We used to go in the bedroom and watch the security camera footage to see who was lying. But we were lying because we don't have cameras. But they always confessed.
So you say that you're going into the bedroom to watch the security camera footage, but you don't actually end up getting there because they confess before you have to go to the security room? Got it. Emmy thinks that if she lies, her nose will grow. And she kind of called me out on that the other week. She's like, how does your nose grow? And she's like, anyways, I ended up explaining that it's just so minuscule, the amount that your nose actually grows, that you can't really notice until you compound the lies. And then you'll notice that it's bigger. So basically, I just, and I think she's still, Emmy's not, she, like we said, she's a trickster. She's not a liar. So honestly, I think it works.
My parents used to tell me we weren't allowed to have sweets before bed because it would give us nightmares. And
I tell Emmy
literally
that.
I believed that until I was like in my 20s.
Oh, really?
And it wasn't, I think, no, it might have been, I didn't realize it until I had Penny. And then all of a sudden it clicked and I was like, they were lying. Of course they were lying. Okay, this is hilarious. When I need 10 minutes, I sprinkle puffs on the floor in the living room so she can eat them like a chicken. I call it chicken time. Like
chicken time.
Pecking
The thing is,
puffs on the floor.
I have a big bad bruiser of a dog who would just vacuum those up so fast.
Dogs
I
would ruin
think
that.
that's a great hack.
Yeah, I can see how that would work. I used to just sprinkle Cheerios out for Chloe on her chair, so it would work
I love that.
on the floor too.
I'm trying to think of how I could jimmy that to work for me.
Another one in here that was, let me see where it was. It was similar to that. It was a game called Feed the Birds. And it's where you sit in your chair reading with a bag of mini marshmallows, and every once in a while you just chuck a couple out. And then while your kids are sitting there waiting for them.
so
funny.
good.
This one also made me laugh out loud. When he lays on the ground to throw a tantrum, I point at the ground and yell, "Spider!" And he gets up immediately. The redirect.
There's the redirect again. Snap him right out of that.
Yeah, this one's an interesting one. I tell them their tongue is constantly growing new taste buds, so they should keep trying new food, even if they didn't like them last time.
Stealing it. Actually, I'm stealing all of these, to be honest, but this is a really good one. I have this thing where I get them to at least try one bite. And if they try one bite and they don't like it, then that's fine. I'll lay off. But if they don't try a bite, then... But anyways, the good old airplane still works on my 3.5-year-old to,
Oh my God.
Try new food.
What
and
is
eat
that?
more food.
Why?
I know. She'll ask me sometimes, can you feed it
always
to me
works.
like a baby?
I know, Chloe will be like, "Ew, yucky. You feed it to me," and then she'll eat it, and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
whatever.
I know.
As long as you're eating,
right?
I don't care." Okay, and here's one that is a little bit more of the redirect in there for you. Pretending to sneeze when he is throwing a tantrum, so he will stop and say, "Bless you." The redirect.
The redirect.
Back at it.
The redirect is sometimes harder than it needs to be, but those honestly just like literally turns their attention somewhere else. I love it. Heather, was there any advice you were given when you were a new mom that you still remember to this day? If you don't, I do have one. I was told by one of my husband's friend's dad that older the kids or bigger the kids, bigger the problems. And honestly, I'm slowly learning that, right? As kids get into school and they start to have friend problems and being unincluded and whatnot.
Yes.
So there was also one that our follower sent us. Oh, similar. As kids grow, the highs get higher and the lows lower. Gets us through and keeps us humble. Always good to just have these reminders in our head, right? It just, I feel like it helps us just execute perfection.
Exactly. I'd say overall, the social media has been, if you know how to weed through it and not take things too seriously, I find it has been helpful making me feel less alone and being like, oh my God, my kid does that too. Or, oh, it's not just me. Like for me, my feed is all mainly funny skits about toddlers and this ridiculous things that they do. So I'm like, thank goodness for that because it makes me feel sane.
Totally. Do you follow the Daily Tay?
Who is it?
So funny. And she often does skits with her mom now about like boomer parenting versus millennial parenting. Anyways, her skits are just really funny. I recommend following her because she's a good time. Yeah. I have such, like I said at the beginning of the episode, I feel like I have like a bit of a social media addiction where I just feel like I need to doom scroll too much, working on it. And
understandable.
Anyways, I have such a love-hate relationship. Like, of course, I would love to just not be on it at all. Obviously, we can't with our podcast, but before we even had the podcast, I still kind of liked seeing those parenting tips because it makes me feel less alone, which is also the goal of this podcast, but it also kind of keeps me, I don't know, stepping one foot in front of the other.
Yes,
which is like,
it kind of gives you hope.
It does. Right? Like, or how do I deal with this?
Ideas,
oh, okay, well,
things.
this expert is telling me to do this. Right? Exactly. Hopefully this episode did that for you, listener. Gave you a couple unhinged and sentimental ideas on how to parent.
Yes.
Very useful stuff.
Yeah.
Useful. Actually, I did miss a tip from a parent here. I took my son for his vaccinations right after we left the stollery when he needed stitches on his face. He was so high, he had no idea he was getting his shots. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Brilliant.
I love it.
Brilliant.
It's actually brilliant. Yeah. Get it done.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you to our followers and listeners for submitting these. Honestly, it's awesome. We love hearing from you. Always, we have an email, chatwiththegals@gmail.com. Find us on TikTok and Instagram at Just Us Gals Podcast. And we're also on YouTube if you want to watch. I mean, you might get sick of our faces, but hey, we're a good time.
Can you ever? No.
No one can ever.
Anyways, but yeah, please interact. Reach out to us. If you have any ideas, things you want to chat about, let us know. Let's keep this community growing.
Let's do it. I love it because we need a village. We have you guys are a village. We hope we can be yours as well because we cannot do this alone. That is for certain.
I refuse to.
Anyways, Heather, lots of fun. Thanks for looking up those unhinged ones. Thanks for adding to my parenting repertoire. Really appreciate it.
Hey, same here. I got some new tips to try out.
Right?
Do some
awesome.
chicken time.
Chicken time. My favorite. What was the one
goodness.
called with the marshmallows again? Feed the birds. Feed the birds.
Feed the birds. Love that one too. I'll try that one out. Let you know how it goes.
Okay, please do. Okay. Well, thank you so much for listening and being part of our village here and part of the conversation today. And it's just so much fun.